We're just a couple of weeks away from the Galaxy Z Fold 2's official launch, and if you've never used a Samsung Foldable before, getting used to the new form factor can be a little overwhelming at first. Samsung's packed a lot of unique features into the Fold 2 that you might miss if you don't know to look for them. I'm Hayato with Android Central, and let's go over some of the first things you should do when you're setting up your own Galaxy Z Fold 2. This feature isn't particularly unique to the Fold, but it's a great addition either way. Turn on gesture navigation. By default, the Z Fold 2 uses the classic 3-button layout, with its controls shifted to the right when you're using the inner display to make things a bit easier to reach with your thumb. That's fine, but the Z Fold 2 isn't a one-handed device, so why set it up like one? Jump into the display settings and change the navigation type to swipe gestures. From there, of course, swiping up from the bottom of the display will take you to your home screen, and swiping from either side goes back a page. If you ask me, this makes a big difference in navigating the Fold 2, and it frees up just a bit of extra space on the screen as well, which is always a win. Something that's pretty unique to foldables is the ability to have two completely different home screen layouts depending on how you're using the phone. In the Z Fold 2's case, that means you can arrange apps and widgets differently on the cover and inner displays, and even set different wallpapers for each. In my experience so far, most apps can scale well to either display, but some work better than others. In particular, Instagram and Adobe Lightroom just aren't great on the inner display, so I took them off and I put Instagram on the cover display instead. Conversely, something like Google Sheets with a lot of dense information isn't a great fit for the smaller cover display. Arrange your apps accordingly and you'll start to better appreciate the different use cases for each display. You should also take time to get familiar with Flex Mode, which is one of the Z Fold 2's most distinguishing features. The phone's new and improved hinge mechanism allows it to hold its position at nearly any angle, which opens the door for some clever functionality. The Z Fold 2 can sense when you start to close the display, even partially, and certain apps can automatically shift their UI elements around to make better use of this sort of bisected screen. Partially folding the display while in the camera software opens a preview of your last shot on the side, and there's a button in the corner that even lets you show your viewfinder on the cover display, in case you want to take a selfie with the main cameras or just let your subject see themselves. Similarly, YouTube lets you watch your video on one screen and read the description and comments on the other. Not every app will play nicely with Flex Mode, of course, but it's a great feature for the apps that do support it. Lastly, one of the biggest advantages of having all of this screen space is multitasking, so you might as well make it easier for yourself. You can run two full screen apps side by side and switch between vertical and horizontal layouts with just a couple of taps. You can even run 3 apps in split screen view, and if that's somehow still not enough, you can also open a floating pop-up window. Now, Edge Screen is admittedly one of the first things I turn off on most Samsung phones, but on the Z Fold 2, you can use it to create presets for quickly jumping back into those split screen views. Just tap on the divider between apps and hit the plus icon to add your dual or triple pane view to the Edge screen, then open it again at any time by swiping on the small notch. There's plenty more to take advantage of with the Z Fold 2, but these are the very first things I'd recommend every new owner try. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed any other tips that you'd recommend, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when our full review of the Galaxy Z Fold 2 goes live next week. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.